Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Reserved Investments. So I'm going to tread carefully here because, again, I'm not trying to attack this individual. I'm not going to mention his name. I'm not going to even state where this is posted. But I had an exchange with somebody on a video game collecting forum, and the person particularly asked why the game Super Mario 3D Land for the Nintendo 3DS isn't selling for more than what it is on the open secondary market. And for those unaware, Super Mario 3D Land is a great 3DS game. If you have a Nintendo 3DS, you should definitely play Super Mario 3D Land. But the reason why it's not selling as much as other Nintendo 3DS games out there in the market is just simply due to supply versus demand. There was a lot of this game produced in particular, and a lot of people hoarded it. Like I told you guys before, one of the common themes amongst brand new video games at present time is people are going to the market. They're doing this with the Nintendo Switch. They did it with the Nintendo 3DS. They did it with the Nintendo Wii U and the Nintendo Wii. They're going to the market and they're buying up massive quantities of either mint and complete or factory sealed, specifically Nintendo video games, because they view it as a stable investment for when they can later resell it on the secondary market after Nintendo discontinues either the systems or the games. Now, this strategy has worked for many years, and honestly, I do believe that Nintendo games are still going to be coveted. They're still going to be collected, even 10, 20, 30 years into the future. The problem is, as I've said before in other videos, everybody is hoarding this stuff. So this individual wants to know why his copy of Super Mario 3D Land isn't as valuable as some of the other Nintendo 3DS games out there on the open market. And my response was, it comes down to simple supply versus demand. There are a ton of these out there, and almost everyone who had a Nintendo 3DS system or currently does have a Nintendo 3DS system already owns it. And this individual comes into the chat and says, Nintendo is one of the few companies where supply and demand doesn't apply. There are millions of copies of most of their games out there, and they're still expensive. And I replied back, supply and demand always matters. It's a basic economic principle. And here again, we have to have this discussion. Your favorite collecting category does not exist in a vacuum outside of the basic parameters of economics and finance. Yes, it's true. Nintendo products, Pokemon right now, those particular types of products are very hot and they are in demand on the secondary market. But again, if Nintendo makes 10 million copies of a particular video game in physical form and everybody is pretty much hoarding that game, what do you think is going to happen to the value on the secondary market if people are willing to sell that game? The price obviously is going to fall given how many copies are readily available on the market. You know, there is something that we talk about on this channel called the depth of the market. If you go on eBay right now, as a matter of fact, let's try this. I'm going to go right to eBay and I'm going to type in Super Mario 3D Land. And you're going to see that there are, just off the top, over 2,200 plus results for just the words Super Mario 3D Land. And a lot of these games, just looking through the listing, they can be had for under 20 bucks shipped. So this particular item, there is a ton of supply out there on the open market. That's why it's not trending as high as, say, a more scarce, a more uncommon, yet in demand Nintendo 3DS game. So again, as always, guys, please learn from this. Just because you have a fondness towards the Nintendo 3DS, which I've said this before, it's a great system. It's a great catalog of games. It's well worth owning if you don't have one. If you're a fan of Nintendo, I would encourage you to collect for the Nintendo 3DS. It is very rewarding. But please know, your favorite collecting category does not exist in a vacuum outside the basic fundamentals of supply and demand. This is proof of that in action. Please do not be like this individual who wants to believe that supply and demand doesn't apply because it is a quote-unquote popular Nintendo product. That is a myth made up by the Timmies, Kimmies, and Poindexters who do not understand collectible finance. If you want to really understand collectible finance, consider subscribing to this particular YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Have a great night, and I will see you in the next video.